Hi everyone, this is John from HValley Tools. Welcome back. We're in our showroom shop again today, and we're going to talk about miter gauges. And it's really hard to get excited about miter gauges, but it's an essential tool. It's very helpful and useful to have. And again, there's good, better, best. So when you buy a tool, most tools like a table saw, bandsaw, some sanding attachments, they come with a basic miter gauge. And this is the one that came with our Rikon. It's basic. It's very well made, but it's simple. Heavy duty steel bar, T-washer for the T-slot. It's got somewhat of an angle gauge, an ocular, and this is your adjuster knob and pull pin for adjusting the angles. Basic, simple, it works. We have two offerings for miter gauges. We have our Select model, and then we have our Posi-Stop model, and we'll talk about both today. So on our Select model, we have a very heavy duty, and it's a little bit of enameled bar T-washer, so it fits nearly every slot. And then on the back, our angle scale and vernier are a little more precise. We're getting a little more precise. So to operate this, you loosen the knob, you pull the pin, and then you set your angle. Done. You're still going to need a trusty digital angle gauge. You're still going to need that because you want to make sure that your angles are precise. I'm going to reset that. The other thing that's nice is it comes with a pretty decent extruded aluminum fence. And this is removable, and it also allows you to slide it in and out. So you can get as close or as far away as you want from your cutter. Either it's a blade or a router blade or a bandsaw blade. It also has the ability to expand out so that you can get your stop further out for wider cuts. That's kind of neat. The stops on this are pretty easy to use. You're just going to loosen the knob and slide it to where you want. It also has two zero clearance cuts, depending upon which side of the blade you're cutting on, that allow you to get really close to the blade without the fear of chopping off your aluminum strip here. So this is a nice offering, okay? Solid, well built, lots of features, durable, reliable, decent. Now onto my favorite. This is the Posi-Stop. Now the reason why we call it a Posi-Stop, and we love to come up with cool creative names for our products, makes no sense, but we love doing it. The reason why we have Posi-Stop is these are positive stops here that allow you to set your angles precisely. They're repeatable. Each time you use it, boom, it's right on that angle. So it kind of obviates the need for having an angle gauge. You still can check your stuff, and you should periodically calibrate this just to be safe. But what's different about this and what makes this special? Well, the first thing is the bar. So you'll see that this is a 3/8 by 3/4 heavy duty steel bar. It's got a really nice finish on it, and it has your T-washer. Okay, so the T-washer, again, if you have a miter slot, it allows you to do that. But on the other side of it is something really cool and badass. These are spring-loaded ball bearings. There's 4 of them. And these spring-loaded ball bearings allow for the miter bar to adjust to the width of your particular miter track in your table saw, router table, or bandsaw, or your tool. So why is that important? Well, the older design was to use what I call an elastomer. It was a thing that you tighten with a screw and it got fatter. And they work great. But the problem is that as you get it to where you want, it's harder to push through. It has a lot more resistance, and they wear out and crack. So I really like this design. That was really cool. The fence is very solid. It's only a single piece fence, and you can loosen it, and again you can slide it to where you need it to be. And it's got a flip stop, which I really like. I like flip stops. So this allows you to set your flip stop where you want, and that's really nice for repetitive cuts, and also for when you are using it on a router table, because the cutting motion of a router table wants to shoot the wood this way. So the stop lets you keep it in place. So now what I'd like to do is show these on the table saw and router table. So we're going to dig into it a little more now. So we're in the shop again here on our power lift table, and this is well worn and well used. Poor baby. So what we're going to do is that we have a round nose bit in here, and we just want what I call a church cove, which is basically a long round finger cove on the end grain of a piece of wood. Sounds easy to do. So normally you're thinking, well, I can just do it like this and I'll just run it through. You can, but the cutting action of the bit is to shoot it to the left, so as you're cutting through, it's going to wiggle and want to kick off this way. A great application for the miter gauge is to just set your miter gauge in here, okay? Line up your fence reasonably close to the cutter. You don't want to nick it. And then all we're going to do is set your stop, start your cutter, and slide it through. Beautiful. So we're in our shop now with our Rikon table saw, our trusty Rikon table saw, and we're going to do some cross cuts on these small pieces of walnut. I'm not going to knock it off right now, but I'm going to show you how that would work. And again, you have your T-washer, which is for the miter T-track. If you don't have a T-slot, you take the washer off. And you can either slide it in from that end, or you can come on this end and slide it in. Some people don't like to use these period, they just want to pop it in, but one of the nice things is there's no play now, because the ball bearings, the spring-loaded ball bearings, are just taking up all that slop and still letting it move rather easily. So in this particular situation, we're just going to take these pieces of walnut and cut them all to size. You know, if you had like 15 to do, we move our fence as tight as we can, safely, to the blade, set your stop, set your fence, everything looks good, start your saw and cut. And then move it over to the safe zone, put it back here, set everything up, make sure we're good, and then cut. Okay? So another application for a miter gauge is when you want to do angular cuts on your table saw, or even on a bandsaw. So what we would do then is just loosen up the knob, pull the pin, and then set it to 45 degrees. That's what I want today. Okay, we're set. And now we're going to set up our stop block to make sure we cut at the proper length. And then basically we're all set. We're going to push it through. The issue that you have when you're cutting an angle is that you're going to have to hold the piece a little more firmly, as the blade wants to push the actual material into you. When you're on a square, it's pushing against the fence. That's the only thing you have to be careful of. It works, and it works well. Some guys actually like to do it on the opposite side and switch over to the opposite track here and do it in a different angle. You can do it that way as well. They both work very well. So as you can see, there's a lot of applications for a miter gauge, and just having a better quality miter gauge improves the results that you get, the accuracy, repeatability, and precision. And again, the thing that I like about this design is it's so smooth and it just floats in the track. You don't have to push hard, and it makes it a lot easier to use it when you're operating against a blade, a cutter, on a router table, blades, bandsaws. Hope you found this informative. Any questions, please ask. This is a great product. All my customers that have bought it have loved it, so I'm sure you will too. And if you have any questions, please ask. If you're in the Philadelphia area, always stop by the showroom. Love to see you. Love to say hi. Have a great day.